LinkedIn has helped me generate a revenue of 40,000 rupees per month and close 3 clients for my personal branding service. All of that because I was able to create a personal brand on LinkedIn. So just to give you some perspective, I started creating content on LinkedIn in 2022 when I was selected for LinkedIn's Creator Accelerator program in India, along with 199 other creators. And based on the experience I gained in the program, I was able to build a personal brand, and I was also able to start a small side business of personal branding. So if you are a beginner and you want to build a personal brand on LinkedIn, then this video is for you. I'm going to talk about the 3 steps that you need to take to build that solid personal brand on the platform. Let's go for it. Now, before I talk about the steps, I want to tell you how LinkedIn is different from other platforms. So LinkedIn at its core is a professional platform where people come to find jobs, to build professional networks, to look for business prospects, to find mentorship opportunities, and in today's world, to build personal brands as well. When I say personal brand, I mean becoming an influencer in a particular niche, having a brand tone that people relate to, showcasing your expertise in a particular area, and creating business opportunities from all of these. Now, let's take a look at the steps that you need to take. Step number 1 is identifying your niche. When it comes to building a personal brand on LinkedIn, it is important to identify your niche. When I say a niche, I mean essentially a focus area where you can add value, an area where you have gained experience, knowledge, and where you can add your expertise. For example, I have been creating content for the last 6 years, and that is the reason why I have chosen this niche of content creation, content marketing, content strategy to focus on, because this is the area of my expertise and this is where I can add value. So focus on identifying your area of expertise. Now the question is, how do you identify that area of expertise, that niche? Step number 1, find out what you're good at. Essentially, it has to be something which you have been doing for some time, where you have gained some experience. If you don't have any niche, if you don't have any expertise, then choose a particular area and educate yourself on it. Also, it's important to gain some experience in that area of expertise so that you can flawlessly talk about it. Now, once you've identified your area of expertise, your niche, you need to showcase what you have done or achieved in that particular area. Also, which means that you need to showcase your credentials. Now, the credentials can be showcased in the form of numbers, followers, revenue generated, impact created, or even some case studies. Now, once you've identified those credentials, you need to use your LinkedIn profile to showcase them. Now, when I say a LinkedIn profile, there are some crucial elements to it. The crucial elements include the banner, the profile, the headline, the profile hashtags, the featured section, the about section, and the experience section. Now the question is, where can you showcase those credentials in these elements? In the about section, you can write about them in detail. In the banner, you can represent the numbers and awards visually. In the featured section, you can display each credential separately with the help of graphics and description and any links that you may have. Your profile headline is another area where you can showcase your credentials in a very impactful way. To access few of these profile features like profile hashtags, featured section, and to be more visible as a creator, you need to turn on the creator mode on LinkedIn. Now coming to step number 2, which is content strategy and content planning. A content strategy is important because it gives you a direction to move in and specific things to focus on. When I say specific things, I mean number 1, identifying your target audience that will consume your content. This is very much related to identifying your niche, which we had talked about in step number 1. And once you've identified your target audience, you need to identify the content writing style that you will choose to communicate your message to them. In other words, this is also called messaging. Based on the target audience, your niche, and the messaging that you choose, you need to create categories of content to focus on, also called content buckets, from which you will be able to create your content plan. So when I create content on LinkedIn, I focus on people who are beginner level content creators or people who want to become content creators, essentially who have not started their content creation journey yet. Based on my target audience, my content buckets look something like this. The first bucket is content creation or content marketing tips for beginners. The second bucket is on side hustles, to educate people about how they can build side hustles through content. And the final piece is talking about my personal journey in content creation to become more relatable to my audience. Another thing to focus on as part of your content strategy is something called as brand tone. When I say brand tone, I mean things like how you will look when you come in front of the audience, bright and colorful. What will be your tone of the messaging that you do, cheerful, serious, educative, informative. Essentially, when it comes to the visuals, how your graphics will look when they come in front of the audience. All of this is part of brand tone. So once you figured out the content strategy, where you figured out your brand tone, your content buckets, your target audience, your messaging, now you will have to create a content plan. Now, why is a content plan important? So from my experience, if you don't have a content plan, you will be lost in the process, which means that you will not be able to post consistently on the platform, which is LinkedIn. And why am I saying that? I'm saying this because I was part of LinkedIn's Creator Accelerator program. And what I learned over there is that it is important to post regularly on the platform, which means at least 3 to 4 times a week, because only then will the algorithm push your content to the public, and the public will become accustomed to your consistent posting schedule because the audience loves consistency. Now, LinkedIn is a great platform for building connections and building those solid professional networks. So only focusing on inbound marketing where you create content and attract the people and they start following you will not really help. That will be only 50-60% of the game. Rest 40-50% of the game will be outbound marketing, where you need to break the clutter and reach out to people one-on-one and connect with them. If you're new to LinkedIn, then following this outbound marketing approach will be crucial for you. Why? Because this approach will help you build your initial network of people or help you go from 0 to 1. Another aspect is that you need to meaningfully engage with the people who you think can become your audience in the future. And you can do that in 3 steps. Number 1, start engaging with the content of those people. Meaningfully start commenting or engaging with their content. Number 2, if you don't know them at all, try and send them a warm connection request. When I say a warm connection request, it means that you need to type in a good message saying that you found their content useful, or you're building a network on LinkedIn and you would love to have them on that. Step number 3 is you need to start following big influencers in your particular niche and start meaningfully again engaging with their content, because when you engage with the content of big influencers, your comments will be shown to people who follow those big influencers. It's kind of again creating that presence for you on LinkedIn. So finally, if you want to build a solid personal brand from scratch, you need to follow the 3 steps which I just talked about. Summing it all up. Step number 1, identifying your focus area, your niche. Step number 2, creating a solid content strategy and content posting plan. And finally, step number 3 is outbound marketing, where you need to reach out one-on-one to people who you think will become your future audience. That's it from my side. If you found the content useful, then don't forget to share it in your network. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel because I'll be coming out with amazing content in the forthcoming videos. Till then, take care. This is your friend Divyansh, signing off.